What's going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, and I am back. We are back with another Player Prop Talk live stream here on the channel. What's going on, Zay Clay? No retirement. Not yet, man. Hope you're all right, man. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. On this Wednesday morning, August 14th, 2024, we're going over player props. We're going over slips. We're going to try to build out a few slips here on the channel. Better, PrizePicks, Underdog are the three pick'em sites that I personally play on, that I spend my money on. However, we can look into any pick'em site you want. We're going to be using a few tools to help us get it done today. But before we move into that, per usual, hashtag blessed. If you've risen today, you are blessed. 10% of the U.S. population does not get that opportunity. So if you did not die in your sleep, I think you're kind of blessed. Not a whole lot better than waking up each and every single day, unless you decide to get up and play on Better. If you've not yet signed up on Better, use that QR code. Sign up, match your first deposit up to $250. No promos on Better today, but typically you will see a day full of promos, typically 4 promos each week. Good payouts, nice promos. Better is slowly becoming one of my favorite pick'em sites. So we'll be talking about Better today, building out a slip on Better. We'll be using the Odds Jam Fantasy Optimizer to help us locate value in the market across the industry. If you want to check out Odds Jam for yourself, use that promo code, receive 30% off your first month. Really easy. We're also going to be using props.cash to dig into that value, game logs, last 5-10 games, pitcher versus hitter, streaks, all sorts of stuff we can dig into. So thanks 25 is the promo code for props.cash. You can also sign up for that. I think that's it for promos. I think that's it for promotional offers, but a couple good ones. So let's do it. We're going to head over to the Odds Jam Fantasy Optimizer. We're going to pull this up on the screen, and while that's loading up, what's going on, T? What's going on, JR? Let's get this going. I did all right on Better yesterday. I did better than break even on Better, but I did not actually play on Underdog yesterday. I didn't realize that until last night when I was checking on my slips. And I had no results from Underdog, and I thought, wait a second, that's not right. And yeah, I didn't place a slip on Underdog for the first time in about a week or two. So hopefully we can change that today. Value on Underdog was not good yesterday. So we got the PrizePicks tab pulled up on the optimizer. A lot of PGA stuff going down today. A lot of birdie props. I hate these birdie props. 100% hate these flat lines of 4, 3, 5, whatever. I don't like them. I like the 0.5 personally. It just gives you more wiggle room. Underdog, you can play this at 4. PrizePicks has it at 4.5. Just, it's easier to go under 4.5 than it is 4, because most time players land right on that number and they push. NBA non-existent, but WNBA is back in our lives tomorrow. Hamby Stewart combo points under 39.5. 4 books, 5 books are taking the under on this one. Looks strong. Bregman under his fantasy score. I don't know about this one, man. We'll have to look at his BVP versus Zach Lytle. Astros are starting to cook now. Astros are starting to cook. It could be just that they're playing the Rays the last few games, but I think even before the Rays, the Boston series really got him going. So that's all it takes. A couple of series, and before you know it, you're on a winning streak. It happens fast. So we can look into this Bregman under, but the way they've been swinging the bats, I got to just research this one a little bit. And then we get into some not so profitable plays. When we get into these red squares, we're really looking for data points at this. We're going to try to follow the information. The data says the under is in play. You have all these books that like the under, despite it not being a high percent chance to hit. Basically 54% chance to hit, which is still good. It's not considered plus EV, but at 3.5, this might be something we want to take a look at. If this were to get bumped to 4, I'm staying away from it. Vert over 11.5 first 2 map headshots is a good one. I saw this one earlier. Both books that like the both books that have the action on this one is Underdog and HOTSTREAK. They both have it at 12 or higher. Getting the obvious lower line on PrizePicks there. Under fantasy score for Tyler Anderson today versus the Blue Jays. Alex Cobb stinks. This guy sucks, man. He didn't used to suck. He was actually a really good pitcher, and just but Chicago Cubs strike out a lot, so this could be one that you like, or you could take some overs on Chicago bats. I don't know how you want to do it, but we can look into a few of these. Let's see what we got popping on Underdog. If you're new to the stream, new to the channel, what I like to do is just go through some of the tabs on the optimizer just to show you the value. And then whichever one has the best value, that's where we start building our slip first. And then we just kind of make our way around and build a few slips. That's it. Always open to your player prop suggestions and questions. Throw them in the chat. If you have a player that you like, throw it in the chat. We can dig into it. If you see a player that you like on the screen, let me know in the chat. All right, Underdog. A lot of the same PGA props. Got a couple esports props here at the top. Only one data point. Not a huge fan of these one data point plays. I got to be honest with you. I will play one or two in a pinch. If I just need one extra play, then I'll just go right back up to the top and take one of these because it's a plus EV play for a reason. I just like when they're a little bit more supported by the other books. There's another birdie prop at the flat 4. I don't like those. Tyler Anderson, 27.5 fantasy score on PrizePicks. Got him at 28 on Underdog. The scoring system is a little different, but they basically balance out to the same. There's another under. So two books that like the under on that one that might be worth taking a look at. I got to burp real quick. Ooh. Protein shake burp. I don't know if you could still hear that one. Try to keep it quiet. David Peterson under fantasy score. Wood 7 over 3.5. I think this one has 2 points. Just one. Kyle Gibson under fantasy score. Now these fantasy scores are starting to pop a little bit on Underdog. Hallen 22.5 over first 2 map kills. Just one data point. We're going to move past all that. Hideki Matsuyama over 4 birdies. I know I just said that I don't like taking the birdie props when it's just a flat number, but this one is a little different because you got 2 data points that have it a little higher. So it has more support. So I would favor this one over the other ones. Ohtani over bases. That one looks good to me. I already dug into this one. Anytime you can get Ohtani's bases under 2, sign me up. Sign me up. All right, let's take a look at BETR, and then we'll start building out a slip here on the stream. Appreciate y'all being here today. Mark, what's going on? Good morning to you. Let's have a day. And we need a fucking day. We need a fucking day. Yeah, T. You mentioned this in the Discord, going opposite on the top 3. Worked out well yesterday. Scooble, King. Who was the other one? Scooble King and I can't remember who the other pitcher was. 3 fantasy scores right at the top. We're all projected to go under. They crushed it. I think Michael King finished with 59 fantasy points or something like that. So, what's up, Jesus? Good morning to you. Santander over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. All right. So here's better. So this is what we got. So PGA. What tournament is this? Jew Championship. Okay. Now we're getting some strokes. The other 2 sites had birdies. BETR is giving you total strokes. Just one data point on these. Aaron Judge over bases. I don't see why not. Yankees are starting to get it going a little bit. Soto had a day yesterday. I don't know if anybody played the over on Soto anything. He would have went over everything. Demon, whatever you had, he went over everything. Soto had himself a game. I'm looking at the who's pitching. Davis Martin. Davis Martin is the opposing pitcher today. You can look into some Yankee props if you want to. Also, keep in mind, today's Thursday, super early games. The first game starts at 12:10, followed by 2:40, then 3:10, and then you get into your evening game. So we have a few early games. Be sure that you know that. Under. I like this Josh Bell over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's quietly putting together a nice 5-game streak, little over 5 games. Quietly, like one of the hottest hitters right now. I did not know that. That's how quiet it was. Lamont Wade, I'm willing to go back to him. Took the under yesterday. He finished with 2. I'm willing to go back to him. Churio, I love taking this guy's overs. I didn't really see anything that would equal that versus the Dodgers today. Like the path wasn't there. I didn't see it. But a few books like the over on this one. I love the over on this Altuve, 1.5. Ronel Blanco under 17.5. Robbie Ray under 4.5 hits allowed. And on and on and on. Does Frankie Montas make sense if you're looking to take the over on some Dodgers? Because if the Dodgers are hitting and scoring runs, it's possible Montas gets taken out early, or he just doesn't get to a strikeout prop because can't strike batters out and give up hits at the same time. So if you have the Dodgers doing well today, then you have Montas getting rocked a little bit. This makes sense for the over or for the under. All right, there's Ohtani over bases. Wait, what did we just see earlier? Oh, was that on Underdog? We saw Ohtani under or over bases. Now we're seeing it on BETR. O'Neal Cruz over hits. That one looks good to me. O'Neal Cruz over hits, and there was another 0.5 hit that I did like. I don't know if it got bumped down. Not Josh Rojas. There's another Rojas. Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas. I know this is down in the percent chance to hit. Only a 52% chance to hit. This game is at 540. I do believe that we see this game momentum throughout the day as more books start picking up on this play. This one, I don't want to call it a sneaky play. I think it's a good play. Let's pop over to props.cash real quick, and I'll show you why I think it's a good play. So Lane Thomas does not play in Washington any longer. He is now in Cleveland. And last year, one of the things I loved doing was targeting was targeting Lane Thomas in the right matchup, usually against lefties, mashes lefties. However, his matchup today with Tyon is righty versus righty, but 4 plate appearances, 2 homers, and 2 RBIs. So that means he has 2 2-run homers to his name, right? Or he could have hit a 3-run homer and then hit a solo shot. Doesn't matter. 4 RBIs and 2 homers and 4 plate appearances versus Jameson Taillon. You can see here, Quan, Thomas, Jimenez have all hit Taillon well in a limited sample size. No strikeouts for Thomas or Quan versus Taillon. Versus righties, yeah, Thomas is striking out at a hefty rate versus righties, but not against Jameson Taillon. I'm willing to take the chance on not just his hits, runs, and RBIs, but also any sort of demon play in terms of bases, hits, runs, and RBIs. If I can find a home run prop, I may even play that one. I just think this is a good play. I'm willing to double down on this one. Taillon versus right-handed pitching. He gives up equal power to both, right? Like, plate appearances are almost identical. Home runs are almost identical. Doubles are identical. Look at this. He's just an equal opportunist. He's like, you get a hit, you get a hit. I don't care what side of the plate you bat from, you get a hit. So Taillon is if Taillon was an employer, he'd hire everybody because he does not discriminate. So he is letting you hit. So I like the fact that Lane Thomas has these numbers. I'm willing to take a shot on him. So I know it's not the best play in terms of plus EV, but that one stood out to me earlier. So where do we want to start today? We want to start on PrizePicks. We want to start on Underdog. We want to start on Better. Where are we going? Travis, what's up, Travis? Did your slip on PrizePicks hit yesterday from the stream? No, it did not. It looked like it was going to hit because so we had so Devers goes over. We talked about Devers matchup, right? Devers goes over. We had Brent Rooker go over fantasy score. Hamby plays tomorrow, so at this point it doesn't matter. Trey Turner put up 0 fantasy points, and Josh Naylor only put up 2 fantasy points. So our 2 fantasy point plays just didn't come through. Also, the esports play was trash. So yeah, that slip did not work out for us, but it looked good at first because Devers had went over and Rooker was in the process of like going over. So we were like right off the bat, like 2. And then it all started to hit red. So no, unfortunately it did not hit. Yeah, PrizePicks has been real rough past couple days, but I did make up for it on Better yesterday. I'm running this little ladder on Better, 3, 5, and 7 picks. So the idea is if my 3 pick hits, then that's 3/5 of the 5 pick. You know what I'm saying? That's three parts of the 7th leg. If the 5 pick hits, then 5 out of 7 I've hit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the idea is one helps the other, one helps the other one cash. I have not yet hit the jackpot. I've been one play away. So I found a lot of plays that I liked on Better this morning, so I went ahead and built a few slips out on Better. But I guess we'll start off on PrizePicks since they have a bit more value than we're used to seeing at this time of the day. Also, if you're new to the stream, all PrizePicks, Underdog, slips, whatever we build, links are shared in the chat. You can tell them if you want. The majority of our plays are pulled from the optimizer, but definitely we've pulled some gems from the chat. So whatever you got, throw them in the chat. For example, yesterday, Brent Rooker was from the chat. he hits fantasy. Our last 25X, we included 2 plays from the chat, helped us cash out. So it is a collaborative effort here. Let's pull up this Santander over hits, runs, and RBIs. I think it was. That's Carlos Santana. So I have to spell his name out because Santana and Santander are the same name up until we get to the D. All right, so yeah, Santander does not have a OG hits, runs, and RBIs. He doesn't even have an OG total bases. Let's just look at his fantasy score because at this point they're starting to handicap all these plays. So when I say they, I mean PrizePicks. Let's take this. Let's check them out on props.cash, and we'll go ahead and look at Baltimore versus the Nationals. We'll take a look at some BVP, some game logs, and see what this one looks like. So we're going to start off with his hits, runs, and RBIs, since that does correlate the closest to his fantasy score going over. Back-to-back games of 3 hits, runs, and RBIs. So he's 2 for 5. He's 2 for 5 in his last 5. He's 5 for 10. His last 10. And against this team, 5 for 11. He is projected today for 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. He's projected for almost a full hit, an RBI, and a run. So we got 2, 4 plus the single. That's 7. He needs 7 to push, but we need him to get basically 8. So what's going to be the difference in him getting 8? Is it a multiple hit game? Is it an extra base hit? Is it a walk? Can he draw a walk? So no numbers against DJ Hers. In fact, I think this is the first time that he's faced this team. However, against lefties, Santander batting .237, bringing in 10 homers. All his power is coming from the right side, or all his power is coming versus right-handed pitching. So he is a switch hitter, so he can bat comfortably from either side of the plate. Looks like Hers is having a little trouble with just average versus lefties. However, all the power he's given up is to righties. So that's where Santander has done as a right-handed bat. Actually, I don't have those numbers. I don't know what he's done as a right-handed bat, but versus lefties, these are his numbers. If he bats from the right side of the plate today, this is what Hers has allowed. So average is down, but homers are, I guess, up. 7's not that many, but that's where all his power is coming from. Something else we can take a look at is what DJ Hers is projected for. Looks like they have him projected for about 6 strikeouts. We're getting a -160 on his 4.5 strikeout line, which is kind of low. You see he has the 10+ strikeout upside. Over his last 10 games, he has a 60% hit rate. He has just a 40% hit rate in his last 5, projected for about 5.7. Only 2 earned runs here. Baltimore currently on the year, they're a 24% strikeout, have a 24% strikeout rate to lefties, but over the last 15 games, they're ranked number 12. I mean, what? You're splitting hairs here. So the difference between 12 and 11 is probably like 0.2. It's not that big a difference. So if there is a bat that you want to target in this lineup versus lefties, you know, you have Rushman in there with a low strikeout rate, high batting average. Henderson, not too bad, but that strikeout rate is atrocious. You want to take a shot on Jackson Holiday? You can. That's Santander's numbers versus lefties. All right, so if there aren't any other player props that we want to look at, let's just start. Let's start selecting some plays from this board. Let's just do the best we can with what we got. Ooh, appreciate y'all being here on a Wednesday morning. Hideki Matsuyama, 4.5 under. So now we have a couple of NBA player WNBA player props up here. Over 18 rebounds for Jones and Hamby. 2 data points on here. Out of these two, I mean, I know the slip that we built out yesterday wasn't the greatest slip. However, we did take the under Hamby 30.5 PRA. So that play does still correlate with this play. And I bring that up because the under is the theme here. So if Hamby does go under 30 points, rebounds, and assists, that has to help the under here, right? It doesn't help. So this one makes the most sense. And we're getting it at a 0.5. I like that one. I like that play. If anybody has any demon plays that you want to look at, throw those in the chat because we might need a demon or two to build out this slip the way this value is looking right now. So throw those in the chat if you have a demon play in mind. And we can actually look that up on props.cash. The odds are not going to be good, but we can see what's popping, see if we can find something that is mispriced. All right, we got an over strokes play for Ludwig Abels, 67.5. This one, you're getting it at 68 on underdog. I'm sure underdog is telling you to take the under on this one, which is a push. You take the over on this one, he lands on 68. He can land on whatever he wants. I would rather play the over on PrizePicks than the under on underdog, just because you get some separation there with that 0.5. So let's keep going. What about this Judge over 10 fantasy score? Let's throw that one in there. That's 3 picks on the board. Tyler Anderson under 27.5 pitcher fantasy score. Time to make the donuts. Mark says Suzuki hits, runs, and RBIs, and Knuckle says MJ Melendez. You looking at the over or under on those? Over, under Melendez, over, under Suzuki. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that one up, T, because there are a lot of Royals players that are projected to go over. And I meant to look at that matchup, like who is pitching for the Twins? We got 2 pitchers for the Twins. Is it a doubleheader today? They start at 12:10 and no, it's not a double. So what we could be looking at in Minnesota is like the starter and then the long reliever. So like maybe Louis Varland starts the game and only pitches like 2 innings, and then Bailey Ober comes in, or maybe somebody got scratched. When I look at the projected, it's Louis Varland who's starting. Yeah, so that's probably what's going to happen. We can definitely see what his pitching outs have been like in the past. He's gone as far as 5 innings. That's 4 innings. That's little less than 4 innings in his last 10 starts. What about Bailey Ober? Okay, so then Louis Varland just got removed. No, he didn't. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. This is weird. It's like neither pitcher is that good, but combined they're okay. What a vote of confidence that is to a pitcher. It's like you're only good enough to start for 2 innings, and then you got to get out of here. And you're not good at starting games, but you're okay in the middle of the game, so you can come in. Patchwork ass pitching staff. Let's look at Melendez. I don't even know who his. I guess it's going to show numbers versus Louis Varland. I guess Melendez has been on a roll, right? Last 10 games, 80% hit rate, 100 in his last 5. Yeah, Melendez has been rolling. He's projected for 2.25 hits, runs, and RBIs. Obviously, you cannot finish with 2.25, but we're looking at his demon play. I'm assuming that's what that was, right, T? In terms of adding a demon play. So versus right-handed pitching, all his power has come against right-handed pitchers. 14 homers, 2 triples, 16 doubles, 20 plus singles. And then Varland, on the other hand, versus left-handed bats, that's been his kryptonite. We usually talk about the difference in batting averages. You see a higher batting average when the plate appearances are low. However, we're getting this reversed with Louis Varland. He actually has more plate appearances versus lefties and is still allowing a higher batting average. So that just shows you that lefties do have his number. The 291 batting average against righties is also kind of bad, but this is what stands out. 5 homers, 2 doubles. So yeah, Melendez should see 4 plate appearances today. Now this game is on the road, so we can take a look at what he's done on the road. Still really good on the road. And when he's on the road, Melendez is still looking at around 4 plate appearances. So that's a demon play. And Suzuki was, what's up, Rosalie? Over on both of those. Alex Call over 1.5 bases. Demon. There's Alex Call. Nope. Well, actually, the double would work also. If he hit a double, he goes over his demon prop, right? So, the total baseline does offer more wiggle room because he can get that done in 2 at-bats. He can actually be 5 for 5 with 5 singles and still not hit a double and go under that. So yeah, the total base does offer more upside, but I think the double will probably offer you a higher payout because it's a little bit harder, a little bit more specific. Rosalie said Blanco pitching outs, Burleson under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. What are you looking at for Ronell? Oh, under. I didn't see the under. Okay. Ronell under pitching outs. Were you looking at it at 17 and a half? They got bumped down to 17. I hate when they do that shit. Yep, Seaver. Lane Thomas over total bases. We literally just talked about him because his matchup today with Jameson Taillon is a good one. I would be willing to take the over on a few of his other props. when I looked at him, he only had a total base prop on PrizePicks, and he's still hits, runs, and RBIs. I didn't play him on PrizePicks. I played him on Better, and I played the over on his total bases at 2.5 because I think he hits a home run today. That's what I think. But I'd be willing to even play some of his other props. I think he has a home run prop on Underdog at a 3x payout for that one play. I love his matchup. He obviously can go out there and just do nothing, but I really like the idea of playing a few of his props today. Okay. So here are a few extra plays. We didn't really see the Santander shaping up all that well, but we need to look at this Alex Call. We got Blanco in there as well. Let's take a look at this Alex Call. And oh shit, Melendez. Let me add Melendez in there so I don't forget. Two hits, runs, and RBIs. All right, let's go back. Let's look at Alex Call over 1.5 total bases. Be prepared. I think we're going to see some pretty bad odds here, but it's a demon for a reason. We know that. So minus 165 to go under his demon play, which you shouldn't be surprised. You're never going to see positive odds for a total, like a demon play. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a demon. So we already knew what we were looking at here, but let's see if we can find something that stands out. Over his last 5 games, he's gone over in 2. Over his last 10, he's gone over in 4. Just 1 homer in that game. How many doubles? 2 doubles. Any triples? No. So he's gone over this in with doubles and multiple singles. Shit, my bad. Okay, that looks a little better. Tons of singles. All right. This is just overall. But if you want to look at it on the road, this is what he's done on the road. Now, overall, better numbers at home, I'm assuming, right? A lot of those multi-hit games are coming at home. This game is being played in Baltimore, Camden Park, Camden Field, Camden Yards. I don't know what it's called. It's Camden, right? Still Camden? Hitter-friendly ballpark in Baltimore. Not as much since they pushed I think it's the left field wall. I think they moved it back like 20 feet or something like that. So a lot of those like really short homers are not happening. Like the little short porch in New York, those homers were happening a lot in Baltimore. Not so much since they did that whole shift, but still a hitter-friendly ballpark. He's hitting a shit ton of singles, man. All right. No numbers against Dean Kremer. 0 for 3. Alex Call. No strikeouts, which is good because he's putting the ball in play. So can't get on base if you strike out. Typically, you can't get on base. Numbers against right-handed pitching so far this season. Alex Call is hitting 400. No power. He is not a power hitter. I bet you his home run odd is like 1,000 to go over. 800. 400 batting average. 5 singles and 13 doubles. 2 doubles gets it. A single gets the over here. Kremer versus right-handed bats is allowing 24 single, has allowed 24 singles, 6 doubles, 5 homers for a 227 batting average. Yeah, if you think he gets you 2 singles today, I mean, this is what he's done in his past 10 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games of multi-hit. That's what he needs. He needs 2 hits today to go over. Any 2 hits gets him over. Doesn't matter. Any 2 hits. That one does look like a fun demon to play for sure. Let's look at Ronel Blanco's pitching outs today versus Tampa. Rosalie got it at 17.5. We're getting it at 17. He has gone over 17 just 4 times. At 17.5 was beautiful because he has no pushes, right? But at 17, you got 2-3 push games. Last 3 games, he has not gone over in those 3 games. Fantastic numbers. I mean, 9, 7, and 5. So he's proven that he does not need to go deep into games to go over strikeouts. The only thing that worries me about this one is that the Astros do have a tendency to let their pitchers stay in a little longer if they're pitching well. Not saying that happens here, but if he's moving and mowing people down, it's possible. However, 9 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, your pitcher is moving. Is he giving up a lot of runs? He gave up 4 unruns here. So that makes sense, right? He pitched 13 pitching outs because he gave up 4 unruns. Probably, put them in a bad spot. They took him out. Went 5 innings here, struck out 7 batters. So, like, I don't mind that one. I really wish we got it at 17.5. It looks really good. But 17 is in play. 17 is in play. Yeah. I think, obviously we don't want to push, but if he does push, if you don't like it at 17, maybe look for it on Underdog or Better or wherever you play. You might be able to find it at a higher line. All right. Let's finish out this slip. We got this slip on layaway over here and shit. we gotta fucking pay it off. All right. So here's what we had. We had Stewart and De'Erica Hamby under total points. We have this Aberg over strokes. Aaron Judge over fantasy. I really like that one. Those are our 3 non-demon plays. I probably don't want to add more than 2 demons to this slip. So I'm going to refresh the optimizer to see if anything new has popped up. If not, then I don't mind going with the Lane Thomas over his runs and RBIs. I'd love his total base prop instead, but I don't mind his hits, runs, and RBIs today versus that Tyon. Barrios under fantasy score. I'm good on Barrios, man. T, you want to take the under on that, over on that one? Were we going to look at Bregman? Damn, Cole Ragans under 6.5 strikeouts. Really? Joey Estes over 3.5 strikeouts. Holy shit. That is a lot of data points. Got to take a look at this one. Got to take a look at this one. At 3.5, Joey Estes, when pitching on the road, not bad. I mean, these games fucking suck, right? Those 3 games, he's not getting blown up a lot. I get it. These games look bad, but there are more games where he keeps it on the low than high. He still struck out 4 batters. He gave up 8 earned runs in this game. He struck out 4 batters. Minnesota and Boston. 2 and 1. Okay, so these games got away from him really early on, but this game, he gave up 8 earned runs versus Houston and still struck out 4 batters. So it's possible that he gets blown up and strikes out 4 batters. So I'm sure this one moved up at -150. I don't think we're going to get it on PrizePicks anymore. He's projected for 4Ks today. That's just away, right? But just overall, not bad, right? BVP versus the Mets, none. Versus righties, the Mets have a 22% strikeout rate on the season. They are a top 5 strikeout team in their last 15 games versus righties. Joey Estes is a 0.77 strikeout per inning guy. If he goes 15 outs, which is 5 innings, that's roughly 3.85 strikeouts. So it's not the, it's not like, oh, that's a lock, oh my God. But, I think it's a good play. I think we're getting a lot of data support here. And I think that the matchup is there considering the Mets have been striking out a lot over the last 5 games. And this Hamby Stewart play just got bumped down. So not going to play that one. Joey Estes over strikeouts. Let's go Blanco. Less than. And so our two. Did I miss a play from the chat? Who was the pitcher yesterday that gave up 11 runs? Oh, I know who you're talking about. Fucking George Kirby. He got rocked, dude. The Tigers. Oh man, dude. Kerry Carpenter is back in the lineup for the Tigers. That dude makes a huge impact in that offense, dude. Dude, Kerry Carpenter is good. He's a good player. And the dude hit 2 home runs. He's back. Bam, 2 home runs, just like that. Fuck you, George Kirby. Wow. Yeah, he got rocked. Yeah. So our demons. Melendez over. This is a big number for him to go over. But he's done it in I think 5 straight games. And it's a demon for a reason, right? This one, basically, you're saying this guy needs to hit a home run, right? He needs to hit 2 doubles. He needs to hit a triple or a single or a home run, right? So this one is the less riskier of the group. Man, that Derek Hamby and Stewie got removed. Do we want to put another demon in his play? Do we want to go Alex Call over 1.5 total bases in this play? Also that golf prop got removed. The total strokes. No, it didn't. Is he on there? No, he's there. All right. All right. Cool. See, we have Estes in there. Tyler Anderson under fantasy score. Projected for 5 strikeouts, projected for 2 earned runs, and is not projected to go over, looks like he's not projected to go over 17 pitching outs. So let's say he gets you 17 pitching outs. Let's say he strikes out 5 batters, which he's not even, by the odds, he's not even gonna get you that. Let's say he gets you 5 strikeouts, that's 15. Let's say he goes 17 pitching outs, that's 32. Let's say he allows 2 earned runs, that's 29, that's 26. He doesn't even qualify for the bonus, the quality start bonus, and he might qualify for the win. At that point, he's at 26 fantasy points, right? I think that's what it was. The win would get him 6 points. That's 32. He's projected to not go over 27. He's projected for 26, 26, 25. So basically what those 3 lines say is that he goes the 17 out, the pitching outs, he gets you 5 strikeouts, and that's it. Gives up 2 earned runs or more. But when he exits the game, he's not on the line for the win. So whatever he leaves the game with, that's what he ends the game with. Against the Blue Jays, Vladdy crushes this dude. Varsho crushes this dude. It's possible, man. You know, Springer gets on, somebody else gets on, Vladdy hits a home run. Now you're down 3-0. You get down to Varsho, maybe Varsho hits a home run. Now you're down 4-5-0. This dude gets pulled like in a second. It's possible. I'm not saying that's what happens. But it's possible. No home runs versus this guy. So Vladdy just has 3 singles. It's not a lot. Varsho 2 doubles, 3 singles, and 2 RBIs. Those aren't like the strongest numbers. They removed Lane Thomas, really? These early games, you got to be careful too. They'll just move people. Fuck. So I had 1 slip with Lane Thomas in there. Okay. Seaver says Altuve over fantasy points. Let's look at that one because I did like Altuve's hits, runs, and RBIs on better. Altuve's numbers versus Zach Lytle, 4 singles. If he hits 4 singles today, that's 12 fantasy points. So I'd be happy with that. Numbers versus righties, batting .291 with 12 homers. Versus righties this season, Altuve has 90 extra base hits, 90 plus extra base hits. Good average here. Pena, good average. Singleton, Singleton is like an all or nothing guy. No strikeouts for Altuve versus Zach Lytle. Okay. Last 10 games for Altuve. This is what he's done. Last 5, this is what he's done on the road. Oh, was that on the road already? We were already looking at on the road. Not that much difference. All right. I think I like that Altuve. Josh Bell over fantasy. That's the only line to have for Josh Bell. Josh Bell, I said earlier in the stream, Josh Bell is quietly over his last 5 games, at least one of the better hitters in the league. Josh Bell over his last five hits, hits, runs, and RBIs, 11 over his last 10. This is on the road too, because this game is on the road. But just overall, Josh Bell over his last 5 games overall, he's 80% over his hits, runs, and RBIs, 60% over hit, runs, and RBIs, 2 homers. And in terms of just total hits, I mean, look at that shit. Over his last 10 games, he has a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13 hits in his last 5 games. 8 hits. Yeah, like just hit-wise, he's been one of the better hitters in the league over the last 10 games or so. His fantasy score is at 7 today. I think that one's in play if you wanted to roll with that one. His numbers also versus Tanner Gordon are non-existent. But his numbers versus righties, 256 batting average with 12 homers. That one's also in play. All right, let's add this Altuve fantasy score today. Can we still play it? No. We're going Josh Bell. All right. We're going Josh Bell. Altuve is no longer on the board. So Aaron Judge over, Aberg over, Estes over, Blanco under. We got Josh Bell over, and we have MJ Melendez over 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Because this one has a demon play in it, is a boost to 34x from the typical 25x. We'll submit it, and then we'll move on to build another slip out. Appreciate y'all being here. We'll probably go a little longer today, just to get some extra slips in as the value starts to open up. If you're not able to stay on the entire time, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But there is a slip. Oh, Lane Thomas is not in the lineup today, and it's his birthday. Oh, he's hungover. And it's an early game. Yeah, man. It's hard waking up with a hangover and like having to walk your dog. Can you imagine like playing a baseball game? Nah. I hope he had a good birthday because he just fucked up my lineup. All right. There's a lineup. There's slip number 1. All right. Let's move on to underdog. Anybody here play on underdog besides me? I think T, you started playing on underdog recently. All right, OddsJam pulling up fantasy points here for David Peterson. There's Tyler Anderson again. That's the second pick'em site that has the under on his fantasy score. It might be worth considering today. There's Barrios again. There's Aaron Judge. I love that. It's not even a reach. It's not like, oh, Aaron Judge is the GOAT. Let's play all his props. It's a good play. It's a good matchup, and you're getting it on both PrizePicks and underdog for the over. So you're getting a lot of support on this one. 11 is high. I understand that, but look, go back and look at his game logs. He's been doing this. Skip these esports plays. You're more than welcome to put them in your slip if you want. Bogart's over 5.5 batting fantasy score. 5.5. I'm going to put that Ohtani in there as well, over 1.5 total bases. So we're kicking things off with Ohtani, and we're kicking things off with Judge. Somebody in the chat mentioned Alec Burleson. I don't know if they wanted to go over or under Alec Burleson, but on Underdog, his fantasy score is right there, over 8.5. This Cincinnati game, and this is like low-key high-scoring game because it's in a really hitter-friendly ballpark in Cincinnati. So let's take a look at Alec Burleson. So we're looking at the over on his fantasy score here. No experience or no exposure to this matchup with Emilio Pagan. But versus right-handed pitching on the year, Burleson is a 302 batter. Does that make sense? He's batting 302 with 17 homers, 14 doubles, and 57 singles. That's a great line there. On the flip side, Pagan has really limited lefties. 179 batting average, 4 homers, and 1 double. I guess what's being factored into that fantasy score is the ballpark. So Blanco, we took the under on Blanco's. We took the under on Blanco's pitching outs at 17. How many strikeouts does he get today versus the Rays? Because that one, if we took the under on his fantasy score, that would really correlate well with his pitching outs, because the lower he goes on pitching outs, overall lower he gets on fantasy score. It takes him away from the quality start bonus, just fewer points. So the one thing that could really F this up is a high strikeout today. So if he goes out there and strikes out 9 batters, that's 27 fantasy points. And even if he just goes 5 innings, that's 42 fantasy points. Just like that. No win, no quality start. Just like that. If he gives up 2 earned runs, he's still over fantasy score. So it'll really hurt us if he goes out there and has one of these types of games. But if he's in that 5 strikeout range plus 5 innings, that's 30 fantasy points right there. He would absolutely have to give up a couple of earned runs just like to make sure we didn't get the over on this one. But he still needs 33. He still needs 33 to go over this. So 15 plus 15 is just 30. The guy gives up 2 earned runs. He's at 24. There's no quality start bonus. There's no win bonus, right? You would think even with the win bonus at 24, that's just 30 points. So Blanco under fantasy score. I like it because it correlates with our pitching outs on PrizePicks. So there's 3 right there. If you got a play on Underdog that you want me to look at, boom, throw it in a chat and we'll dig into it together. But we're just gonna keep scrolling through the optimizer to see what value is on the board for us. Anybody interested in this Corbin Carroll hitter fantasy score? What's up, Damien? Austin Martin over total bases. Oh, yes. Yes. Bregman over fantasy. Glaber, is that Glaber Torres receiver? As Glaber over 0.5 bases. Is really? He's only at 0.5 on Underdog? He's at 0.5 hits and they capped it. Total bases at 1.5. Yeah, they're not letting us get the Glaber today. They've already put the clamps on that one. All right. Let's keep this going. Corbin Carroll over fantasy score. We haven't really looked into this Rockies and Arizona game outside of who was it? Nobody? We haven't looked at this game? Somebody we looked at. Oh, Alex Call. We were looking at Alex Call over total bases demon line. No, Alex Call plays in Washington. I don't know why I thought we looked at this game or somebody from this game, but we did not. Oh, Josh Bell. I knew there was somebody we looked at. Okay, so we like the over Josh Bell fantasy score and his hits, runs, and RBIs today. Where's Corbin Carroll? Okay, so Corbin Carroll over fantasy score. Does he have any history versus Tanner Gordon? He does not. Numbers against righties on the year. He's only batting .234, 8 homers, 12 doubles, 1 triple, and 41 singles. Now, Corbin Carroll is always a threat to go over because he has stolen base upside. He just doesn't have any to show for it in his last 5 games. As I talk up him and his base stealing upside, his ass does nothing. So only 1 stolen base in his last 10 games. I mean, it is what it is. He still has the upside. So how does he go over fantasy points today? All right, this is what we got to figure out. Tons of hits in his last 10 games. Tons of hits, runs, and RBIs. He's averaging 3 hits, runs, and RBIs in his last 5 and 10 games. He is projected for 3 hits, runs, and RBIs today. Corbin Carroll's line is 8.5. Now, keep in mind the fantasy scoring system is 3 points for a single, 6 points for a double, not 5. PrizePicks has it at 5. 8 points for a triple, 10 points for a home run, but it doesn't just stop. So it's 14 points for a home run because you get 2 points for scoring a run and you get 2 points for driving yourself in as an RBI. Only 4 points for a total base. If you get hit by a pitch, that's 3 points. And if you get walked, that's 3 points. So the scoring system on Underdog is more favorable to hitters. That is why you see higher lines on Underdog, but it all balances out. So if Corbin Carroll hit the double today, that's 6 points. If he hits a single, that's 9 points. So he has to do something other than just hit a double. So no doubles in his last 10. Why is this dude projected to go over? This pitcher has to be something terrible. Tanner Gordon has to be the worst thing since flavored condoms. He has to be terrible. If you are having this many Arizona Diamondbacks going over their score, but none of them have a clear path, this dude has to be bad. But his strikeouts look strong. He gave up a ton of earned runs here, but these last 2 games, he's kept it in the ballpark. Now on the road, away from Coors Field, strikeouts are down, earned runs are up, and pitching outs are okay. Man, I don't know about that one. I'm not really feeling that Corbin Carroll line at all. If you want to play the over on his line, it's obviously getting good juice for a reason, but there's like nothing in those numbers that I just feel like is going to lead us to 9-10 fantasy points. My screen is stuck, I think. There we go. We have not played any esports today. I'm going to go ahead and put this Danistis in 1:30 p.m. start time under first 2 map kills at 34. The other books have this way too low, or you could say that Underdog has it way too high. So that gives us a $5. Calhoun is popping under his hits, runs, and RBIs. Harper over 7 hitter fantasy score today. Schwarber and Harper are both popping in this matchup today with the Marlins. Kyle Schwarber to go over 0.5 runs today. He has a total 70% hit rate. He's averaging 1 run scored in the last 10 games. You got 3 books that also give you overs on this one, projected for exactly 1 run right there. Numbers against Edward Cabrera are awful. The guy has 1 hit in 11 plate appearances, and I bet you this guy has 8 strikeouts. No, he's not striking out at all. Wow, I'm surprised. Only 18% against righties. What do y'all think? We need one more play. Oh, is it really? It's Josh Bell's birthday today, Steve. Not Lane Thomas's birthday. Oh man. All right, we have Judge over, we have Blanco under, we have Austin Martin over, we have our esports play under, Josh Bell over fantasy score. Somebody got taken off the board. Who do we have in there that got taken off the board? Who was it? Otani got taken off the board. Damn. Son of a gun. What do you think about Kalei Cooper over 2.5 3-pointers made? I don't know. Let's look it up. Does she not play for? I was thinking of Collier. Who does Cooper play for? Atlanta? Nope. I'm not going to do this whole guessing game shit. Phoenix. Damn, I was so close. There's only like 4 teams in the WNBA. So over 3-pointers made at 2.5. Well, at 1.5, that one was getting a shit ton of juice to the over. Let me take this comment off the board, and then also let me move my square. All right, there you go. These books don't like to pay. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Is Copper's her line on Underdog is 2.5 now. They bumped it up. They nerfed it at 1.5 to 0.81. She's at 24 points. What about her points? What happened here? Dude, PrizePicks hates the WNBA. And they're always just fucking blanking on WNBA. No stats available. Come on, man. Obviously, there's stats. There's Cloud. No stats for Copper. She doesn't play in the WNBA anymore, guys. She quit. She quit. Yeah, I was looking at her points just to see like if we could go with her points instead of 3-pointers made. But okay, so her original line of 1.5 was looking good. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if she pissed off props.cash or what, but she was getting minus 146 to the over, 3-pointers made here. And you had a lot of books that like the over on this one at 2.5. She needs 3. I don't know about that one. I can't even look it up for some reason. It's just not letting me look the shit up. All right, we need one more play to round out our underdog play. So, damn, I can't believe that Otani got bumped or taken off the board. Literally all his plays just got nerfed. All of them, except for fantasy score at 10.5. If we like what we see for him in terms of just overall production, fantasy score might be the way to go for our final pick of this 6 pick on underdog. I already played my Angel Reese play this morning. It was just sitting in my lobby for like a week and a half. His numbers against Frankie Montas are fantastic. 5 singles, 5 homers, and 13 RBIs. Montas has nightmares about Otani. When these guys are healthy, is there a better 1-2 punch to start off a lineup than Otani and Mookie Betts? Even with the 22% strikeout rate, Otani is batting almost 400 against this guy, man. So he's going to strike out at least one time today. But he also has the upside of a home run. His numbers against righties in general, it's not just Montas. But yeah, I mean, he's having an MVP season. And now you got Mookie Betts in there. That lineup is fantastic. What's up, Cliff? Appreciate you being here. Damien says, if you're looking for a 3-point prop, take Alana Smith over 0.5 3-pointer. She's 7-10. Is that on underdog? It doesn't look like it. At least I'm not finding. Oh, there she is. There she is. Ha ha ha. Underdog has it at 1.43 payout. They boosted that one. So if you think she can get you 2, there's your demon play right there. Sleeper. Okay. Here's what we got. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and submit this play right now. We're kind of going with some big numbers here. We're going over on Judge fantasy. We're going over on Otani fantasy. We're going under on Blanco fantasy. We're going over Austin Martin, not Aston Martin. Austin Martin 0.5 total bases. We're going over Josh Bell fantasy, and we're going to go under Danistis 34.5 map 1-2 kills. That is our underdog slip, a 6 pick on underdog. And if you just give me a second, I will share the link in the chat. And we still have a better slip to build out. So if you can still stay on for another, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. We got at least one more slip left. If you got to jump off, hope you have a great day. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, there's our underdog slip. Again, Judge over, Bell over, Otani over, Austin Martin over, Blanco under, all fantasy scores. And we have one esports play in there, under 34.5 maps, 1-2 kills for Danistis. All right. Let's we're gonna build a slip on better, but I do want to take a look at maybe parlay play or dabble just to see the value on those boards. If you happen to play on one of those pick'em sites, screenshot this, I guess, so you can like look the plays up before I move on. So on parlay play, you have Jesse Winker going over bases, Robbie Ray over strikeouts. I have not seen his name much today. Xavier Edwards over stolen bases, Brendan Rodgers over hits, Ben Rice over 0.5 RBIs. There's a lot of overs. If you like playing overs, parlay play is giving you a lot of overs to consider here. One thing I do like about looking at different platforms, even if I don't play on them, is that some of these will be considered demon plays on PrizePicks or spicy plays on underdog, whatever their, format is. Boosted plays on better, those are the higher payout ones. So if you see a play that's getting good juice on a different pick'em sites, you can probably find it on another one for a better payout. That's how you can leverage different formats, even if you don't have an account with some of these. So I do still like looking at some of these plays because it also gives you an idea. If we're only seeing Judge on underdog, but then we pop over to a few different pick'em sites and then we're getting overs on Ben Rice, we're getting overs on Stanton, we're getting overs on Oswaldo Cabrera or whoever, doesn't that tell you that that opposing pitcher is in for a long day? So now you start looking at that pitcher's fantasy numbers or whatever and maybe like take the under on some of that shit. So you can also use this as a way to stack against a team. Let's see what they have on Dabble. Same thing on Dabble. You can look for value and see if you can correlate it on PrizePicks or underdog. The problem with Nafisa Collier is that you can only play one of her lines in a lineup. So you will have to make at least 2 lineups here to take advantage of these plays. But Nafisa Collier under 34.5 PRA. FanDuel has it at 32.5. There's not a lot of support on this one. Lindor under total bases. There's Tyon under 3.5 strikeouts. That would really be great if Lane Thomas didn't get scratched, because Tyon does not look like he's going to pitch very deep or do a whole lot while he's out there. So we took the over 3.5 strikeouts for Joey Estes. He's also projected to go under hits allowed based off all this data on Dabble. There's Aaron Judge over total bases. So that Aaron Judge prop does correlate well with our fantasy score. It's going to be very hard for him to go over 11 fantasy points with just one hit or just one single, right? If he does get a hit, I hope it's a home run, because that hit gets it done for us. But, Judge is a candidate to draw a walk. He's a candidate to get multiple hits. He's a candidate to hit for, RBI or even score a run himself. So he can pretty much check all the boxes. Brian Wu, making, this is not his return. I think he's pitched at least one other game before today, but he's missed some time this season. Over 2 earned runs is his line today. Ragan's under 2 earned runs versus Minnesota. So there you go. There's a lot of plays on Dabble. Sleeper. Dean Kremer under walks. There's Gun over his walks. Kyle Gibson under hits allowed. That does not bode well for the Cincinnati game, because if he's only going to give up 5 hits based off this, now all 5 hits could be home runs, right? So, or 2 of those 5 hits could be home runs, and that's how that game, adds up in terms of total runs. So this has Ohtani under total bases. Now, Sleeper is a lot different than the other pick'em sites, because PrizePicks, Underdog, BETR, I think Dabble, it's the same payout for either side. If you go over Ohtani on PrizePicks, you're getting the same amount of money as if you were to go under. Like a traditional sports book offers different payouts for the over-under. Sleeper is that way, where you'll notice the higher the payout, or you'll notice on some plays, they have higher payouts for the over or under. So it's not like the other pick'em sites, which is why you do see some conflicting info. Like we just went over Ohtani's numbers, but on Sleeper, because of the payout scale, you see some of these lines that don't correlate. So Sleeper is just a different site. And they also allow you to alt the lines. So if you alt the lines, obviously that impacts your payout, right? If you make it easier to go over a line, your payout's not that high. So Sleeper's Sleeper's a little different than the other pick'em sites. All right. My sister-in-law bet a 3-pick pitcher playoff FanDuel Explorer. Francis 7K, Fat 10, and Snell, and she hit. Holy shit! $5 for 1,200. Damn. Hell yeah, that's what's up. All right. Last slip of the stream. BETR fantasy score. So there's Aaron Judge over total bases. We saw his total base prop on Sleeper. We also talked about him on Underdog. So Aaron Judge is all over the place today. A lot of data support on this one too. William Contreras over. This Lindor over total bases. We saw his total base prop. I think it was on Parlay Play at 2, and there was juice for the under. That's the difference 0.5 can make. He can go over 1.5 and still not go over 2. There's Cole Ragans again. Cole Ragans under 6.5 strikeouts. There is Ronel Blanco. That's who we're going to start off with, because we were not able to get his pitching outs at 17.5 on PrizePicks, and we can get it for that on BETR. Robbie Ray under 4.5 hits. Is that too low? It's Atlanta, and they're not the same team as they, as last year, but Robbie Ray is capable of getting his ass blown up, but I'm gonna put that in there for now. Jonathan India over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Let's come back. I have already played Lamont Wade. Heimer Candelario over his hits, runs, and RBIs. So you notice there are a lot of Reds being projected for the over in this St. Louis game. We talked about it being a possible high-scoring game. Steven Kwan under total bases. Colin Morikawa over 4.5 birdies. I love these 0.5 props. Let's go ahead and add this O'Neal Cruz over 0.5. Brett Wisely. Brett Wisely over 0.5 hits. You don't have to know who these players are to play them. Damn. Josh Smith and Wyatt Langford to go over today versus Cutter Crawford. I think Cutter Crawford is pitching for Boston. There's Cabrian Hayes under, Tyler Anderson under strikeout, Tyler Stevenson over. See, that's the third Cincinnati Red to go over hits, runs, and RBIs. And Kyle Gibson only gives up 5 hits today. I already got the 5 pick in. Blanco under, Robbie Ray under, O'Neal Cruz over, Brett Wisely over, Shohei Ohtani over total bases. We did not get a chance to play this one on Underdog because Underdog removed it from the board, but we found it on BETR. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use BETR as our way to get some more exposure to Shohei Ohtani. If Shohei Ohtani ends up going out there and having a bad game, then, I mean, it's the way it is. But I like his prop. His numbers against who the hell is pitching for the Brewers today? Frankie Montas. His numbers against Montas are fantastic. I was going to try to tie it in there with, like, his numbers are monumental, but that didn't really make sense. Okay, so there's our BETR slip in the chat. So feel free to tell that if you want. If not, just maybe pull the plays you like. Gibson might get rocked, right? Right? That's okay. So I'm glad you said that, Seaver, because this is kind of a split. Minus 160 to go over 2.5, but under 165, right? So, like, it's a coin flip. It's a toss-up. He has allowed 4 earned runs in 4 out of his last 10. He's allowed 3 or more in 6 out of his last 10. His numbers against Cincinnati, he's given up 3, 6, and 1. He has that one game back in 2020. Guess what? It's not 2022 anymore. And unless you're LeBron James, you can't defy Father Time. So 2 seasons ago is a huge difference. That's like the difference between a player in prime and on the decline. Like what you did 2 years ago in the major leagues doesn't really matter anymore. So 11 strikeouts is a great number 2 years ago. This season, he hasn't even touched 11. That just tells you that that's a difficult thing to do. So to, hey, he can do it. Yeah, he can do it, but he hasn't done it in 22 starts. So getting back to his numbers against this team, right? I think 3 earned runs is within his range here, maybe 4, but I think 3. BVP today, you have, Jonathan India projected to go over. Friedel, Fraley, and Will Benson. Now, when these dudes are at home, well, Kyle Gibson's on the road, I should say. When Kyle Gibson pitches on the road, this is what he's done in his last 5 road games. This is what he's done in his last 10 road games. Yeah, I mean, we just saw Candelario, Friedel, India, all going over hits, runs, and RBIs. This one has him slightly going over, right? Pinnacle has him over, minus 138 to go over, 5.5 hits. BetMGM is split, and Caesars is giving you just a little juice to the over, but 2 out of 3 books think this goes over, one of them being Pinnacle. So if this guy goes out there and gives up 6 hits, 7 hits, it's possible. It's possible, right? It's possible. Gave up 9 here, give up 6 here. All right. Let's look at some more value, see if there's anything that we missed. If you are just joining the stream, thank you for being here. You're like hour and a half late, but that's cool. We just built out our 3rd slip better. We built one on fantasy. We built one on underdog fantasy and PrizePicks. So scour the chat. There are 3 links in there. Copy and paste them. Tell them or take what you want. Leave the rest behind. PGA is popping today, but just not a lot of. Oh, okay. So now we're getting some data points here. So now we have a little bit more to look at in terms of these birdies. You want to go over 4 birdies for Scott or Lowry. You got 2 books that are giving you support on that one. This Brian Harmon at 4. If you want to play the under, go find it on FanDuel at 4.5 and take the under on that one. Or I would feel better about playing the over on underdog at 3.5 because 4 offers the push potential. There's Bregman under fantasy score. We didn't really look into Bregman too much today. Cole Raggins under pitcher fantasy score. If there's anything that you see here that you want to dig into, let me know in the chat. But I'm just kind of doing a quick look through. We looked at Schwarber's numbers, but I mean, he's always good for a home run. No way. Yeah. Has anybody put any NFL? I know T put in some NFL slips for, I think, season long tackle props. I think you built a slip out in the Discord, but has anybody put any NFL slips in for week 1? Because we're about 3 weeks away, I think. 3.5 weeks away. Taking a look at underdog fantasy, Sasha under first 2 map kills. Oh, over first 2 map kills. Matus Gamrat over 4 takedowns. That one might be something to consider because you have parlay play and DraftKings giving you this line at 4.5. There you go. Push potential, but you are still playing the lowest line, which is a good leverage there. There's Peterson again under his pitcher fantasy score. There's Anderson again under pitcher fantasy score. Birdie props. Jose Barrios under 28.5. I think we got some good plays in our slip. I don't really see anything else that I would rather put in my slip. It'll change at some point today. There will be more value on the board. There's Ronel Blanco again under his fantasy score. So taking the under on pitching outs, we took the under on his fantasy score also. I want to look at this Xander Bogaerts because at 5.5 fantasy points, that's pee-wee shit. 5.5 fantasy points is literally a double and a run scored. It's low for a reason, but I want to know why it's low. Is he just having a bad stretch of games, or is it just a bad pitcher matchup, or what's going on? Because 5.5, it just feels laughable. Xander Bogaerts in his last 5 games has hit pretty well. He's averaging a hit, 1 hit in those games. He has 14, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 hits in his last 10 games. His numbers against Mitch Keller. Yeah, I remember when Mike Tyson was when he fought Mitch Green. But do you remember when he called him Bitch Green? That was the best insult. It was just like the corniest shit, but also it was like Mike Tyson making a joke. It was so good. Bitch Green. I'm not gonna call Mitch Keller out of his name like that, but I almost did. Bogaerts versus Keller, a single and an RBI. So that would be a total on underdog. That would be a total of 7 points, 6 points, 5 points. A single's worth 3 and an RBI is worth 2. So yeah, that'll be 5. If he had an RBI single today, that's 5 points. He's 1 point away from going over. His numbers against righties this season, he's batting 280, 284 with 4 homers and 9 doubles, 49 singles. He should see 4 plate appearances today. Mitch Keller versus right-handed batters like Bogaerts, 258 for 4 homers. So average is a little higher, but power is down. Doesn't mean anything because we don't need Bogaerts to hit a home run. We need him to get a single, an RBI, and a run. A single RBI, draw a walk, or get hit by a pitch. Preferably get hit by a pitch because that's 3 points versus being walked. Oh, both of them are worth 3 points. So yeah. Shit, if Bogart gets a single and then his next at bat he gets walked or gets hit by a pitch, that's 6 fantasy points. So he's over. So that one makes sense to me. It's too low to ignore, and there are so many ways he can go over this. If he hits a double, he goes over this. That's probably the easiest thing. If he hits a double, he's over with 6 points. So if you like that Bogarts play, it's a super low line. The matchup is okay versus Mitch Keller. And he can do this literally with one hit, one double, and he's over. So maybe consider Xander Bogaerts over his fantasy score, because that one looked pretty strong. Oh, I have my Tyson shirt on. I forgot I had my Tyson shirt on today. Greg Holmes. When I saw the Holmes, I thought of Larry Holmes. Somebody else Tyson touched up a little bit. Yeah, he terrorized Mitch Green. The Tyson movie, or the Tyson, it was an HBO movie with Michael Jai White as Mike Tyson. He was like just coming up. He was a really good Tyson. He looked so much like Mike Tyson. But the way they reenacted that interaction between him and Mitch Green was so good. It was just that was just a really good movie. HBO did a really good job with that one. Grant Holmes, what is it, walks? 1.5 walks projected for, he's projected for just one, but you got two books that like the over on this one convincingly. In his last 5 games, he has allowed 6 walks, but just one time he's gone over it. San Francisco this season. Is it not San Francisco? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Lamont Wade drawing in double-digit walk percentage. Matt Chapman also. Luciano. There are some guys in here that can draw some walks. Yeah. Patient teams, patient teams that make pitchers pitch. Draws the game out a little bit, but also that's kind of what you want to target. What's up with Jake Berger? Dude, Jake Berger is, he's the greatest hitter in the major leagues right now. What's up, Jay? Berger is on fire. Let's take a look at his numbers real quick, and then we'll get on out of here. What's up, Jay? We're like, oh, here's Jay. We got to go now. No, we've been on for almost 2 hours, so it's time to start wrapping this up. We just built out 3 slips. All those links are in the chat. We're just kind of going over some last minute plays, kind of digging into some value here. When the sun starts to like shine through my blinds, then I know it's time for me to go, because it's getting later in the afternoon. Where is Berger? Does he not play for the White Sox anymore? Is it Miami? It's Miami, right? Yep. All right. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. The guy has 6 home runs in his last 10 games. 14. That's a minimum of 14 fantasy points per game. Minimum, because we don't know how many runners are on. That's 16 fantasy points in those 2 games off one swing. striking out a lot though, right? Against Atlanta, he had 3 Ks. That's what I'm saying, is that it is so hard to put together games where you're getting 2-3 hits. So when you start seeing these hits props at 2 or 1.5, the unders are in play. It's hard. Like, just we lose sight of that because we look at the homer and the overall game was good. But he did all that on one swing and he struck out 3 times. That just tells you that in the MLB, it's hard to get multiple. Like, the great ones can do it, but there are not a lot of great baseball players today. That's why they're great. Like, very few. Like, you don't have too many Tony Gwynns in this bitch anymore. But what Jake Burger is doing is fantastic. He's not just hitting for power. He's hitting for average. He's getting multiple hits. This is like one of probably the best runs of the year we've seen from any player. This is incredible. Like, if you just saw these numbers and you weren't looking at the name, you'd be like, oh, who's that? Ohtani? You know, who's that? Judge? You start reeling off all these other hitters, and then it's Jake Burger. Jake Burger might be the 10th, 11th guy you name. Maybe even, you know, more than that. Who's that? George Springer? Like, not too many guys are doing this. Damn, can he keep it going? Shit. The ultimate demon goblin stack. Demon prop on Jake Burger, anything, and then goblin prop on Jackson Holiday strikeout. You should get a nice payout on those two because they balance each other out. Maybe I might try that. That might be something just to have a little fun with today. Yeah, he's been on another level. That's for sure. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are done today. We have built out three slips. All links are in the chat. PrizePicks, Underdog, and Better Fantasy. We broke down many plays today. Yeah, we had fun today. Hope y'all enjoyed the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. Be back tomorrow morning, Thursday. The WNBA returns. So excited. More so excited just to have another sport available to us. Not necessarily excited for the conclusion of the WNBA season. The more player props we have available to us, the better we can build slips. Hopefully, the more money we can make. So yeah, it is nice to have an extra sport. And in less than 3 weeks, we'll have the start of the NFL season. For real. So things are turning around. We made it through the summer and we are on to greener pastures. So appreciate y'all being here. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. Hit that sub button. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you don't miss out on the next live stream. I hope our player props hit today. I hope our slips hit today, but I hope your player props treat you well and respect the damn coin. I'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. for another live stream. And until tomorrow's live stream, Chavez is out.